Good morning. My internet's doing weird things today, so who knows what's going to happen. But fortunately, I'm only going to talk about one film. So it's not going to be a long film, but let's see if this makes it all the way through. I don't think we're going to have a good connection, but here goes. So two films opened yesterday in Hong Kong, Bad Boys for Life and Judy. I didn't see Bad Boys for Life because I didn't see the other Bad Boys films. So I thought, why jump on board now? So I skipped it. The screening was last night as well, and I thought, oh, piss on that. You know what? If you're going to do a press screening the night before, the day that the film opens, for a film that I'm really not that interested in seeing, I got better things to do. Judy, though, I saw a couple weeks ago at the Macau Film Festival, so I was able to think about what I wanted to say. And here's the thing, for tens of millions of fans, of her fans, and of Judy Garland's, not Reneé Zellweger, Judy Garland's fans, and maybe she even has more than tens of millions, probably hundreds of millions, if you think about it, around the world. Judy Garland's name means different things. She's the girl from The Wizard of Oz, of course, Dorothy Gale. She's Mickey Rooney's one-time on-screen pal. She's the poster child for the Hollywood studio system of abuse during its golden era, when they used to drug their stars. And she really is, as I said, she's the poster child. She's the mother of Liza Minnelli, of course. She's a gay icon, and I learned something about that this week or last week, and more. The simply titled film Judy by director Rupert Gould, who's probably most well known for a film called True Story, which I gotta admit I've never seen. It looks at Judy Garland, the drug and alcohol-addled train wreck, and as it focuses on her final year. Now, the story takes place in 1968, and Garland, who's played, of course, by Reneé Zellweger from the Bridget Jones trilogy, her life, well, Garland's life, couldn't be in any worse shape. She's newly divorced from her fourth husband. She's living in a Beverly Hills hotel with her two youngest children. Liza's already grown up and moved out, so she's with Lorna Luft and what's the son's name? I can't remember what the son's name is. It's funny, it's in the movie, they're not even mentioned, I don't think. I mean, the names are not even mentioned, but it's Lorna Luft and the son. She's broke, and she's essentially unemployable due to her erratic behavior and unreliability brought on by years of substance abuse. And when her manager throws her a Hail Mary and books her in for a 5-week run performing at the Talk of the Town nightclub in London, she's given a chance to get her life back on track again. But she's so damaged that it falls upon the club's talent minder, Rosalind Wilder, played by Jessie Buckley, who is going to be seen, I think it's coming next week, Doolittle. So she's in that film. She plays the queen, apparently. But she was in Chernobyl. She played a good Russian. So it calls upon Rosalind Wilder. And I don't know that there really was a Rosalind Wilder. I have a feeling she's a composite character. But she deals with the star's inner demons. And God knows she's got plenty of inner demons. And because in 6 months' time, Judy would be dead at the age of 47. Now, Judy, the movie, is based on a play called End of the Rainbow by a fellow by the name of Peter Quilter. He also wrote a play called Glorious, which is about amateur singer Florence Foster Jenkins. And if you've seen the movie of the same name starring Meryl Streep, you know who Florence Foster Jenkins is. But his play and Meryl's movie Meryl's movie is not based on his play, just put it that way, but it's the same character. Now, Zellweger throws everything she has into this performance. She portrays Judy's vulnerabilities and fragility with tremendous sensitivity. She nails the entertainer's jerky body movements to the point where it seems that she's either going to crumble into pieces or explode into a rage at a moment's notice. And perhaps for Garland, that's how it was. I mean, when I was working on writing my review, I watched some old episodes of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and The Merv Griffin Show, shows from the 60s, when she was a guest on their talk show. And both men were terrified of her, Griffin especially, not because she was a megastar, but rather because they knew she was stoned out of her gourd and they didn't know how to react to anything she'd say. I mean, it's quite interesting to watch. Carson, who is such an affable guy, and he interviewed, thousands of stars over the years. You had, and big stars, Milton Berle, Betty Davis, lots of big stars. So, with her, you can see he's like, walking on eggshells. But Merv Griffin especially was like terrified. So very interesting to watch. Now, as we saw in the movie Chicago a few years ago, Zellweger is not the best singer, but she can certainly carry a tune. So here, she doesn't try to compete with Garland. She couldn't possibly compete with Garland. And she puts her own spin on Garland's repertoire. And it works, because even Garland was far from being at her top form at that point in her life. Now, what Zellweger was good at here, or maybe she's good at a lot of things, but what she's good at here is she captures Garland's ability to make every song she sang believable. I remember years ago, a few years ago, watching American Idol, and I think it was Jimmy Iovine said to one of the young singers, he said, you have to believe what you're singing. You have to internalize that and believe it. And that's what Garland was really good at. That when she sang, every Torch song, it was like, wow, she gets the meaning, and she's singing from her heart. And so that's what Zellweger does here, and it's really well done. And clearly, the people who vote for the awards we're suitably impressed, because Zellweger has already won 9 awards for this performance, including the Golden Globe, which she won last week, the week before, and the National Board of Review. She's also been nominated for a BAFTA. She'll probably win that one as well, and an Oscar. And I have to say, she'll probably win the Oscar. My feeling with the Oscars, she's the one. If she doesn't win, that's going to be the big upset of the night, because I think everybody's expecting that she'll win for that as well. Now, as good as she is, though, she's let down by a script that lacks pizzazz. Quite simply, Judy is this year's The Wife. Remember the film from, was it last year, the year before, starring Glenn Close? She was great. The rest of the movie was, That's the way it is here. Zellweger is great. The rest of the film is, I'd say, okay, Finn Wittrock, who plays husband number 5, he wears a wonderful wig. I think that's a wig. Maybe it's his own hair. I don't know. But it's something to behold. It's really well done. But the rest of the film was rather unmemorable, with rather dull performances from everyone in the cast, and really mundane camera work. There's no spark there. Perhaps a more experienced director might have made something magical here, but Judy is not magical. Okay, it's a biopic. But look, you have other biopics. You have Rocket Man. Well, Rocket Man really was fantastical. But this one, I think it needed, it didn't pop. It just didn't pop. So, you know what? Shortcomings aside, I'd say Judy is still well worth seeing, both for Zellweger's performance and to remember what a tremendously talented, but badly screwed up, entertainer Garland was. Hollywood doesn't make stars like that anymore. So that's Judy. I'd say go see it. That's it. Nice and fast, 10 minutes today. So hopefully this hasn't crapped out in the middle. I don't think it has, but we'll find out. Have a good week. Next week, I think, might be Doolittle. I can't remember. Or I know it's Spies in Disguise. I think I'm doing Spies in Disguise next week. So, and I'm taking my neighbors' kids to see it. So, they are always a lot of fun. They're 9 and 6. So, have a good weekend. Have a good week. See ya.